What is up, guys? It is the Sound Alchemist, and I'm joined here with...
Gershwan!
We're not actually joined, but we're here, and we're doing it again because this is for the Great Earth.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us, comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first. That is what Timothy Armstrong did. He asks, second time asking, what happens to worlds that are cut off by warp storms but do not have demons present? That's a good question. So, what did you say? A rave?
Yeah, basically it's a huge-ass rave that the whole planet indulges in. You got glow sticks galore. X, probably. I would assume so.
Definitely. Lots of it.
Mollies are being popped.
Yep.
Everybody's sweating.
And it's all fun in games until they realize that because the warp storm has cut them off from the Imperium, they can't get resources. The Imperium is very like most planets are not self-sufficient. They require other planets to give them food, tithes or regiments to help them defend. And then what usually happens is that if your world is not an agri world or an ocean world, if it's just like a regular hive city, it's just basically slowly gonna die.
Yeah, it's like radiation wastes, and you're basically stuck inside your domes.
And then after that, you don't necessarily have to have demons in order for the chaos gods to affect people, because in any type of post-apocalyptic world, I think certain things start to come out. Rage, schemes to get resources and all that kind of stuff. So they are affected in some way.
Right.
Now there are exceptions, especially if a warp storm has cut off a certain sector of the galaxy, which happened during the Age of Strife. Sometimes those sectors, specifically like night worlds, they were okay because they're basically feudal worlds, so they're very primitive in that their population needs the type of resources that we do now, and they have that. And then they also have like giant knights that protect them.
Yeah.
So
that helps.
So I mean, it could go both ways, where it could be completely catastrophic, or it could be one of those situations where it's like, well, there's enough resources for X amount of days. Let's hope that the warp storm lasts that long. In the meantime, let's just defend ourselves from whatever raiding party comes out of the warp, because that's what you have to do.
Yeah. And it also sucks too if you're stuck inside there with like an Eldari force or something like that, because then they're just gonna be free to pillage and raid and take slaves.
Yep.
And without aid of like the Astra Militarum, Space Marines, etc., you're pretty much left to your own devices. And most planetary defense forces aren't equipped to take on like a huge like galaxy spanning force.
Yeah, and also the galaxy and the Imperium is so large that the possibilities are kind of endless as to what would happen if a planet is cut off. Because right now what came to mind is that there have been stories of like planets where abhumans are form. So not just your typical like ratlings and ogrins, but like actual like weird mutations that just catch on and then they become genetically stable. Sorry. After the Age of Strife, so after the big warp storm, there was like over 30 abhuman gene like there was over 30 abhuman species, I guess you could say, or subspecies, and the Imperium I think boiled it down to like 6 that were approved, but the other ones were not approved just because like the Imperial Creed took over. But in reality, like there are human civilizations that really do change radically, and form things that like are just completely insane. Check out our 40 facts on abhumans, or check out our 40 facts on mutants, and you'll get to see like how crazy
These genetic mutations can be.
basically. Yeah. Good question though.
Yeah. So if you really wanted to do like anything with like that's maybe a superpower, for example, you could just say it's because of a mutation.
Yep.
You can really do anything you want with the 40K lore.
Basically. Next question.
This next one is by Digital Sigma. This question is a pretty cool one because I've been thinking about this for a while, but let's dive in. What famous 40K battles would you like to see turned into a video game? For example, the Ground War for Cadia, the Battle of Terra, the War for WAAAGH, etc.
I think the betrayal at Calth, which is already a.
It's a tabletop thing. It's not a video game, but
I even think that there is a.
well, isn't that like a phone? It's like a
Yeah.
yeah.
But that's what I was gonna say. Like, it's not very good. But the whole thing about Calth is that because of the warp storm, well, no, I think the word bearers did something to the planet's atmosphere to the point where it just became inhospitable, and they had to go underground. So it was like subterranean battles. It would be awesome to have subterranean battles, kind of like Star Wars Battlefront, like those types of style games. But it's all underground, and like you're fighting through like caverns, and then there's like those giant worms that lived on Calth, all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's like you're not just fighting, one force against the other one. You got the environment, the flora, the fauna attacking you.
Yeah.
And that's what makes things more dynamic.
Yeah. What about you?
Hands down, it has to be the War in Heaven. Because we'd get so much out of it, not just a good game, but it would feed us the lore of what exactly transpired, what was the kickoff point between the war, and not just that, but we get to see exactly what the old ones look like.
Yeah.
And you'd have like these crazy battles where you're like Catans are brought in, you got these like Star Killer weapons, and you get to see the Necron tier become the Necrons, and it'd just be like a very, it would take things and like way like blow it way out of proportion. Where like if you think 40K was crazy, like it's just like 10 times more with the amount of weapon and technology that they had back in the day.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool. And you get to play the Necron tier and the Necrons.
Mm-hmm.
Next question.
This one's also by Digital Sigma. When Gilliman was finally healed and he went to Terra to see his father, he ended up taking the Emperor's sword. However, what exactly happened to the Emperor's golden power gauntlet that he has in so many pictures? Is it still on the throne? And why didn't he take that as well?
I'm not too sure. I haven't read anything on the lore that specifically talks about the Emperor's Gauntlet, so I'm not too sure.
Yeah, because I know they've like taken his armor and they've used it as like badges of honor. Saint Catherine's shield has a sliver of his armor on it. And like these weapons are really powerful. Like they're almost invincible weapons because of his power armor. So somebody wielding the gauntlet of the Emperor would be a huge boost to whoever would be using it, which would make the most sense to be Gilliman. Maybe they just have it in stasis ready for another Primarch to emerge so that they can have the gauntlet.
If it ever happens.
Yeah.
I feel like I really thought we were going to get something for Christmas, and we did not.
Mm-hmm. Maybe next year. But we've been saying that for how long now?
Ever. Next question comes from Jeremy Corbin. How do STDs, STIs fit into Warhammer 40k lore-wise? Do they fall under Slaanesh or Nurgle's patronage, or maybe some strange marriage of the two? Well, I've been thinking about this for a very, very long time, because that's what I do on my spare time. I think about STDs in the Warhammer 40k universe. And the conclusion that I came to, based on the lore of the Chaos Gods, Nurgle and Slaanesh, is that if the STD is painful in nature, it is Slaanesh. If the STD is not painful in nature, then it is Nurgle. Because Nurgle is like a jolly old man who just wants to infect you with something for you to come to him. Something that pesters you. So crabs would be something that Nurgle, or falls under Nurgle.
It's funny because like Slaanesh has like the crab-like features.
Yeah. Whereas like a painful STD, what would be a painful STD? Gonorrhea?
Does that make it burn when you pee?
The one that makes you, yeah, that one is probably going to be Slaanesh, because not only do you have, like the burning sensation is like a aftermath of the pleasure that you had to even get that.
Hey.
And then eventually you will, like, instead of seeking pleasure that way. You're gonna seek the pleasure of the pain of your STD. It's disgusting.
It is. It is.
Good question though.
Yeah, that's just the way it is. This one's by Din Tran. Would Chaos ever have a demon bigger enough and stronger enough to be considered a Titan? And are there any demons that could stand toe-to-toe with a Warlord Titan currently?
So there's Chaos Titans already.
Mm-hmm.
And you can say that they're demons because their machine spirit, I think it's called like a certain thing.
It's got that virus in it, right?
Yeah, it has a virus. What is it called? I feel like I always forget this. Animus something? But yeah, so essentially the machine spirit itself is chaotically tainted. Check out the Hell's Reach series on YouTube. It's an amazing series, but in it you get to see an Adeptus Mechanicus Princeps inside the actual Titan that it's controlling. So just picture that, but instead of a Princeps and like a really old Mechanicus lady, it's just a demon.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but yeah, if it's an actual like demon prince that you're talking about, I mean, yeah, there's pretty big ones, but nothing like the size of a Titan.
That's true. Even like even the orcs that are fighting for Khorne aren't that big.
Yeah.
As big as a Titan, anyways. Next question.
Dan Brown. Could Warhammer survive an angry Baby Yoda? No. The anger of Baby Yoda is so immense, he would force choke us all at the same time, and we'd all fall to his tiny three-fingered hand.
He is cute, but I feel like he's always like a scene away from dying.
But we never get to that scene.
Never.
And we never will.
Because Star Wars and Disney wants to make money. Just like GW with all their freaking supplements.
Sanguinius is dead? No, we're going to give you a model. He's alive.
Next question comes from Typhon Ops. How did Dante evade the Black Rage for so long? It is said that the Blood Angel succumbed to the Black Rage, yet Dante lives over 1,000 years and still shows no form of rage getting a hold of him. Thanks for answering. Love your videos.
Plot armor has a lot to do with it.
And there's rumors that he did succumb to the Black Rage and he came back.
Mm-hmm.
Don't call it a comeback.
I mean, Mephiston did it. Or was it the Red Third? No, it was the Black Rage. Because he died, he got the Black Rage, came back to life. And I think he died again and came back to life. I may be wrong, but I know he died and then came back at least once. And he did have the Black Rage and not anymore.
You know what? Maybe I'm mixing it up then. Or maybe what I heard was that, or what I read was that Dante actually he has the Black Rage now. Like as he fights, he's just like suppressing it in a way, but it's still like, that's why he's so powerful. I don't know. Theories. But like you said, plot armor.
He doesn't have it because the plot doesn't require it. And speaking of why he doesn't have things, oh no, I just lost it. But his question, I'll get to his name later. His question was, what do you think is the weakest plot in 40K? He says it's the Emperor. Like that plot doesn't move, it doesn't benefit much.
I mean, the entire Imperium circles around that plot though. And that plot is believable enough for us to just be like, yeah, we accept it.
Lone Goat was his name.
Oh, Lone Goat. So I don't agree with saying that that's like a bad plot. I think it's opposite. It's so good because it's so vague.
Well, I think that's the thing that's wrong about it. There's so much that you can do. Like, he's the strongest guy. He's a perpetual. He should be forever regenerating, but he's not. Like, they're not doing anything with him.
Oh yeah, but they give you answers as to why. I guess it depends on like how much
point of view
and how much you want to buy into it. How much suspension of what is it called? Belief. Yeah. I would say the biggest plot hole though. That's a tough one. I think just like the fact that the Tyranids aren't as powerful as the lore makes them out to be.
You're saying like tabletop 2, the lore?
No, like I'm saying like lore. So like previous lores to the lore nowadays, They make it seem like High Fleet Leviathan was destroyed. High Fleet, was it Kraken that was pushed away? And now they're all splintered. So it was like this big bad boss guy that now has become just a stepping stone.
Yeah.
And it's still coming, but it's still just like, it's there. But you would think that, like, I don't know, it would be a bigger threat.
Yeah. Mine would be the whole thing about chaos. It's like, you're chaos, right? You need souls to prosper in the warp, especially if you're a chaos god. However, if you join chaos, your goal is to kill and like spread your influence. But the more you do that, the less people you have to kill and spread your influence. So it's like this cycle of like perpetual decay. You're killing to become stronger, but that's also making you weaker in the long run.
Yeah.
¿Por qué?
And then last question is by Brian B. He asks, why is Erebus the worst person ever? I'm going to create a 40 facts video for you specifically on Erebus and why he sucks.
Specifically for you, Brian. Only you will be able to see.
Only you. Yep. It's going to be unlisted, and I'm going to send you the link. So, in a nutshell, because he caused everything he has caused everything bad about the Imperium, or everything that has gone bad for the Imperium.
Mm-hmm.
Even though, if you think about it, it is pretty badass that Erebus, a simple man born on a desert world, was able to take down not only like an empire, but like the most powerful beings in the Imperium or in humanity. Mm-hmm. And he's just a dude with tattoos on his face.
Yeah, I mean, 6ix9ine, he's basically the same thing.
Yeah, Tekashi 6ix9ine got taken down by what, the FBI? Erebus was like,
I'm gonna take it a step further.
Yeah, and he actually pushed it further.
Mm-hmm.
It's freaking Treyway, right?
Claro.
Yeah, those were the questions for today. If you guys have more questions for us, comment down below. If we didn't get to your question, ask again, and we will get to it soon. Thank you guys.
Yeah, and remember, zoom, zoom, zoom. You remember that commercial? You a true OG. Zoom, 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 zoom. This is the Sound Alchemist.
First one.
And we are out of here.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.